On today's Locked On Angels, MLB The Show has revealed the 2022 cover athlete. Take a wild guess at who it is.
You are Locked On Angels, your daily Los Angeles Angels podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Locked On Angels, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. And thanks for making Locked On Angels your first listen of the day every single day. I'm Steve Granado, your host. You can shoot me a follow on Twitter at Steve Granado. And of course, our Locked On account is at Locked On Angels. As I mentioned up at the top, guys, take a wild guess. Shohei Ohtani is the cover of the 2022 MLB The Show video game. We're going to talk about all the history that makes. It's really cool stuff. So let's break that down here in just a second. Coming up a little bit later in the show, we do have a bunch of questions from you guys over on Twitter and, of course, our YouTube community. So we're going to answer a bunch of those a little bit later on in the show. So make sure you stick around and, of course, hit that subscribe button here on YouTube and auto downloads on our audio side. Okay, the big news of the day. Shohei Ohtani is going to be the cover athlete for 2022's MLB The Show, the video game, which also, by the way, is now coming out on Nintendo Switch, which is massive for the Japanese market, of course. So it is now available on all the major gaming platforms aside from PC gaming, but that is really big for MLB The Show to, one, go to Xbox last year and now go to Nintendo Switch for this year. On January 31st, the last day on the Monday morning, Times Square had the big reveal. They did a little reveal pre-show on YouTube. If you're on our YouTube side, you're watching that video right now. But yeah, Times Square revealed the big Shohei Ohtani cover. Of course, it has him pitching and hitting and pointing. It's a really cool cover. If you're, again, on our YouTube side, you're seeing that. Great cover. I think it's a clean look. I really like Tatis's last year. I really like the Fernando Tatis cover last year. Played a little bit of MLB The Show on Xbox Game Pass. So I had a whole bunch of fun with that, and I liked like the challenge mode and all that kind of stuff. Great game if you never played it, of course. Shohei Ohtani is the first Angel to ever grace the MLB The Show cover, and yes, that includes that there is no Mike Trout. He has never once been on the cover. It is kind of wild, honestly, to think about it that way, but he is the first Angel to grace the cover. The game has been around since 2006. Let's go back to 2006 to look at it historically. The last Angel to be on a mainline MLB cover for a video game, a cover athlete, was Vlad Guerrero. Vlad Guerrero was on MLB Slugfest 2006. There were 6 different players on that cover, but Vladdy was on that cover as well. Of course, you can go to 2007. Jared Weaver, when he was at Long Beach State, was on MVP NCAA Baseball 2007. So a couple of guys have been there, but gracing the Angels uniform, Shohei is front and center and is truly the first guy to really be on there. It's been quite some time since we've seen a prominent Angel rise to the cover athlete regard. We have some more history. This is coming from June Lee of ESPN. We're going to talk about an article that he wrote here today. Saying Shohei Ohtani is the first Asian athlete in the United States featured on a video game cover for one of the 4 major sports. That is incredible. That is so awesome. We talk about diversity a ton here. We talk about culture a ton here. And just having Shohei, man, on the cover and being, the first Angel on the cover and being the first Asian athlete, that is so awesome, man. And that just makes me so happy to see how far his spread is going to go with this. I mean, I've already seen a bunch of people talking about it on Twitter going, I don't even play this game, but I'm going to buy the game. Like, I don't even play it, but I want the cover. One, great marketing move by MLB The Show and Sony Studios. But this is so cool, man. And for as downtrodden as everything has felt lately with Major League Baseball, this is such a cool thing to be able to celebrate. And it's just another accolade for Shohei. I mean, seemed kind of obvious, right? Like, who else would be on the cover of the show for 2022? Obviously Vlad Jr. would have been on there in any other regular year. Maybe Juan Soto. Like, there's definitely guys that easily could have been on the cover, but Shohei was by far the easy choice. More from this June Lee article over on ESPN. He has some quotes from Shohei talking about about it. Shohei said, I was very excited about the possibility, and it actually came true. This is coming through an interpreter. This game has a lot of history. It's one of the only baseball games that has been out here, so it makes me want to get better on the field and live up to the hype. Very cool. He would later go on to say, again, later on in this article, more quotes from Shohei. There's a few type of fans. I'm sure there are fans that love to play the video game, but don't actually watch the game. Then the opposite, people that watch the game, but don't play the video game. I'm trying to bring that back the popularity and set an example for those watching the game. Sony and San Diego Studios, they're going the other route by making a video game, trying to get the game popular that way. It's a good combination, trying to bring the popularity back as a whole. He said he was honored to be the first Asian athlete on the cover, and then get on to say, I know I'm sure there's a lot of Asian people that don't know me yet. Hopefully, by being on the cover of the show, you get my name out here to those people who don't know me yet. Love his perspective here. I do, we praise Shohei as much as we can. We love the guy as much as we can. And it's just really, really cool. It's just really, really cool. It's great for baseball. We know that a lot. And I love his perspective on it. I'm trying to grow the popularity because, he is the perfect guy to do it, right? You think of what makes something popular, and it's characters, right? Characters are what make the sport popular. Think about football. It's easy to look at the quarterbacks and find the big names, right? You look at hockey, you look at the goal scorers, right? The big goal scorers, your Alexander Ovechkins, your Steven Stamkoses, your Sidney Crosbys. Those are the flashy players that really bring the attention, bring the media attention, for every sport. Basketball, LeBron James, obviously. The flashy players bring people, bring eyeballs, and bring fans. Shohei is as flashy as they come, right? The bat flips are there. He's playing on both sides, throws 100, hits 450. Like, he is the perfect ambassador for the game, especially if he can keep it up. We're going to talk about that later on in the show here today. But this is great, man. I'm just really happy. And again, it seemed like this was the obvious choice. I'm glad MLB The Show made the obvious choice, did it right. Great cover. I like the way it looks. I'm happy with it. And, it's the first time in a long time that I've considered buying a video game physically. I've been buying all my games digitally. I'm a PC gamer. I have, PlayStation, Xbox, Switch, and all that stuff too. But I just haven't bought a physical game in a really long time. And I'm like, you know what? That's kind of cool just to have. This is kind of just a piece of history. I also a big Ducks fan. I've talked about a lot of times. I remember when John Gibson was on on Jonas Hiller. Sorry, Jonas Hiller was on the NHL cover, and I was like, ooh, I want to get that. I want to get the NHL cover just because Jonas Hiller's on it, and I got it. So I think I might be picking this up. Let me know. Are you going to be picking this game up, like, one, to play it, but two, just because it's cool? Like, are you excited about that? Let me know in the comments here on YouTube. You can always tweet me at Locked On Angels, and of course, call me 714-409-6396. This is pretty cool. Are you going to be picking it up? It's the new year, so that means New Year's resolutions. And if yours is about getting fit or eating healthier, make sure you include Built Bar in your plan. Built Bar makes it easier to stick to your resolution because it tastes so good, you'll actually want to eat it, unlike those other gross, chalky protein bars. I got an idea for you. Go to all your secret treat stashes at home, in the pantry, office, wherever they are. Throw out all those sugary, calorie-filled treats and replace them with Built Bar. That way, when you're craving a snack or a treat, you can reach for something that's healthy and tastes good. Most Built Bars contain 130 calories, 4 grams of sugar, 4 net carbs, and 17 grams of protein. I have an offer for you. Go to Built.com, use the promo code LOCKED15, and get 15% off your order. That's promo code LOCKED15 for 15% off at Built.com. This episode is also brought to you by Rock Auto. With the ever-increasing numbers of makes and models, it's now impossible for your local chain auto parts store to stock all the parts you need. Why endure often pointless or seemingly intimidating questioning and wait while the person behind the counter orders the parts, choosing only the brands that they happen to have, right? You got computers, you got phones, go to rockauto.com. You can buy whatever you need on there. Save time and money when using Rock Auto. Why would you choose to spend 30, 50, or even 100% more for the same parts from a chain store or car dealership? Rock Auto prices are reliably low for every customer, and they have everything you need, from brake parts, tail lamps, to motor oil, and even new carpet. Go to rockauto.com right now and see all the parts available for your car or truck. Write Locked On in the How Did You Hear About Us box so they know that we sent you. Amazing selection, reliably low prices, all the parts your car will ever need. rockauto.com. Back here on Locked On Angels, your first listen of the day. As we mentioned, we have a bunch of questions coming from you guys. Thanks for sticking around. We had to push this episode back here. Just needed a refresh over the weekend, so I needed a day off here. But let's go ahead and get to some of the questions you guys sent in. You guys sent in a ton. We can't get to all of them. I might sprinkle in some throughout the week as well, just to get to some more of your questions. Let's start with this one. We'll stay on the Shohei Ohtani train here at the top of this one. Invasion of Mike's over on Twitter asking, with a universal DH seeming to be part of the next CBA and hopefully a healthy Trout Rendon for protection, how scary will Ohtani's next season be? He will be in all the interleague games as well. Thanks, Invasion of Mike's. I think the important part that you're hitting on here is the interleague part, right? That just adds a bunch more at-bats for him, if he's healthy and not exhausted. So that's a huge part, and not having to do the dance of putting him in right field every now and then. There's a lot of things that come into play with having a DH in the NL, and especially with the expansion of interleague play, that just really helps out. And yes, and of course, we've talked about it a couple of times with Trout and Rodon. I mean, the sky's the limit, right? Even further than that is the limit for Shohei. So yeah, I think that's a really interesting point you bring. I never really thought of it that way, but how it does, the DH does have an effect on the American League now with interleague play. Great point. Thanks for bringing that up. Appreciate you sending in your question. Okay, you have another one. Let's stay with the Shohei train. This is coming from our YouTube community. Emmanuel Pena. How many home runs is Shohei going to hit? Nice and simple, dude. I mean, with that protection, I wanted it. I think it was in the New Year's resolutions episode we did. 50-50, man. I want Ohtani with 50 bombs and Trout with 50 bombs. How amazing would that be? I think they can get there. I think they can. If they both have really good years and really healthy years, 50-50 for Trout and Ohtani. Realistically, anything over 35, I'm like, yeah, let's go. That's great. Obviously, we'd all love to see up in the 40s and 50s and 60s even. But realistically speaking, over 35, man, what more could you ask for from this guy at this point, right? Okay, another question. Let's shift gears a little bit. This is coming from Michael Torres over on Twitter. What relief pitcher or pitchers addition would elevate the Halos bullpen to the level of the Mariners, the Stros? As we've seen in the past, teams that go deep into the postseason have elite bullpens, sometimes in spite of average starting pitcher. Could there be an in-house solution? Michael Torres, thanks for checking in at Mick94. I've talked about this a couple of times, and I wanted just to reiterate, I think the Angels should really go after Andrew Chafin. I still don't think the Angels are far off. We'll see what Ty Buttrey brings once we get to spring training, and if the Angels have any interest in keeping him around in that regard. But I think, just adding Andrew Chafin, maybe one more after that, and Carlos Rodon, I don't know what else you could really even do when you're thinking realistically. You can land Andrew Chafin. That just gives you another option out of the pen, another 8th inning, 7th inning, hell, 6th inning guy, really, but a late inning guy that can get in there and just give you some solid innings, some really great innings. I still think they should go after him. I think it would be a huge addition. Sign him on a 2-year deal and go for it. But yeah, let me know. Are there other relievers that you want? Let me know in the comments. Let me know in the comments down below here on YouTube. We have one more here in this section. Renee Valdervelden, I hope I'm saying that correctly. How likely is it that Correa signs with the Angels? That's coming from our YouTube community. Renee, I'm going to say 0.1% the Angels signed Carlos Correa. Maybe I'm wrong. Who knows? At this point, no, man, he ain't coming. There's not going to happen. That's just not going to happen. You look at everything that's gone on, that's just not going to happen, man. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but 0.1% Carlos Correa signs with the Angels. Let's see if I'm wrong. There might be less football being played right now, but Bet Online has way more stuff to bet on this playoff season, from scored, totals, player performance, props, to where the next fired coach is going to land. Bet Online is the #1 spot for all the NFL betting in 2022. And with the new year comes a new updated desktop and mobile website. Sign up today and receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Just use the promo code LOCKEDON to get started. And it's not just football. BetOnline's got basketball, hockey, boxing, UFC odds, and they got it. It's the best in the business. You already know this. From sports, right down to your favorite Vegas casino games, BetOnline is your #1 online wagering destination. BetOnline, the fastest and easiest way to wager on all your favorite sports and play your favorite games. BetOnline, where the game starts. Back here on Locked On Angels, your first listen of the day. Thanks for hitting that subscribe button and listening to us all the time here on YouTube and, of course, our audio side. All right, I'm going to try something different here in this final segment of this show today. We're going to do some rapid fire. So I'm not going to spend a ton of time answering these questions. I'm just going to go gut feelings. Obviously, I pre-screened all this stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and just answer them quickly. Again, thanks for tweeting us at Locked On Angels. Hopefully, we can find a way to weasel in some more questions throughout the week because I know you guys sent in a ton over the weekend. Okay, so rapid fire. Let's just go ahead and jump through these and get you back to whatever you're doing outside of listening to the show. Okay, this one coming from Manny G18 over on Twitter. If the luxury tax threshold does increase after the lockout ends, do you see the Angels making 1 or 2 more big splashes on the free agent front, like Correa or Rodon? Hey, Manny, no. The luxury tax is probably not going to increase by that much. The owners don't want that to happen. It acts as a soft cap. So, no, that's not going to happen. Again, I think 1 reliever, 1 starting pitcher, and that's probably going to be it for the offseason. Next question. This is from J Cano89 on Twitter. Do the Angels need to improve their stadium giveaways? Are they too gimmicky? Do they need more variety in their bobbleheads? Thanks for your question, James. First time I've seen you. Do they need new giveaways? Yes. Oh my gosh, absolutely. I need more giveaways. I'm done with tote bags. I'm done with the coolers. I'm done with them all. Give me something new. I don't know what that entails, but look at the Ducks. They do like the John Gibson bobble legs. They do different things with bobbleheads and stuff like that. Give me stuff like that. Are they too gimmicky? Don't care about the gimmicks. I did like the Shohei shirt. I like the Shohei throw pillar. That kind of stuff is funny. Do they need more variety in their bobbleheads? Yes. Do some old bobbleheads. Give me some old throwback players. We're talking about the connection in the past. Give me some throwback players. Okay. Thanks, James, for your question. This one's coming from Disappointed Angels fan. Did the 2002 Angels have something the 2009 Angels didn't, or was the difference the competition? I think the 2009 Angels gut feeling just ran into a team of destiny. The New York Yankees were so good, destined for a championship run. I felt like that was the Angels' year. I felt like that 2009 team was better than the 2002 team, just as far as talent is concerned. But that's the way it goes, man. You run into a buzzsaw. The Yankees were great, and the Yankees took them down. Plain and simple. I've talked about that on this show before as well. Tough year. I still think about 2009 a lot. All right, our last one here for the day before we let you run away. This is coming from Baby Yoda over on YouTube. What's up, Grogu? If the Halos did trade Adele or Marsh, would you rather they acquire Luis Castillo or German Marquez? Luis Castillo is my answer. Without looking too deep into the numbers, we've talked about Luis Castillo multiple times, but I say Luis Castillo over German Marquez. I don't think that's going to happen regardless, but thanks again, Baby Yoda. Hopefully you're safe with Mando and stuff. Hey, there you go. Those are all the questions for the day. How's that? That was fun. That was a new twist on the format, rapid fire. Maybe we'll do that again next week. Monday mailbags typically, I know this came out on Tuesday, but Monday mailbags are typically what we do here on Locked On Angels. You can hit the subscribe button here on the YouTube side, and of course, auto downloads on our audio side. That way, when you wake up, you have a new episode of Locked On Angels to listen to. Thanks, guys, so much for hanging out with us today. Shohei's the cover athlete. Go pre-order MLB The Show if you're into that kind of thing. Tweet us at Locked On Angels. I'm at Steve Granado, and you can call our voicemail line 714-409-6396. Thanks for making Locked On Angels your first listen of the day. For your second, check out Locked On Bets, your daily one-stop shop for all your gambling needs. Locked On Bets, hosted by your boy Q, with expert analysis and insight from Lee Sterling. All right, guys, that's going to do it for us in today's episode of Locked On Angels. Monday, Wednesday, Friday is our typical release schedule, so don't forget to subscribe and auto download. All right, guys, we will talk to you next time. I'm Steve Granado. Later.